If it's Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, that can mean just one thing. It's time for the goRIA live stream. I'm Chuck Vela, and as I like to do on these Wednesday afternoons, is put a spotlight on what's new at www.goRIA.com. And what's new today is a brand new podcast that just dropped. It's up there, top of the list if you go to the website. And I had the chance to speak with Matthew Jarvis, who most of you will know is really the advisor to advisors. He's written books, he does conferences, and he is also the co-founder of the Perfect RIA. So as you might imagine, we had a ton to speak about. And I'm going to give you, as usual, a little taste of that in just a moment. But just to kind of frame what we did discuss, and we really covered a lot of different topics, and we probably will do another one soon because there was still a lot more we wanted to cover together. But what we focused on at first, we talked a little bit about his origin story, which I'm trying to mix those in more now because I think people find them really fascinating. I definitely do. But we started off with one of our favorite topics, which is true net payout, right? I talk to advisors all the time. Matthew talks to advisors all the time. And inevitably, the topic of payout comes up. And we both agreed, as many of our previous guests have, when we're talking to these advisors, especially the ones in the IBD channel, who are really excited to have a 92% payout, it's really just not a 92% payout. When you really peel back some of those layers of the onion, you really find that it's usually quite a bit below that. So that's what we talk about in this particular segment I'm going to share with you. And we were actually dissecting that and pulling back some layers. And the layer we were on for this particular segment I'm going to share with you is the idea of how are perhaps some of the sneakier ways your true net payout is reduced in ways that you may not be fully aware of. Here's a little sample of that. But here's the one 100%. I think is really hard to really find, is the non-transaction fee choices.
This is next level. I love this.
Please take that away. You know exactly what I'm getting at. But what is your take on that?
Yeah, that one is harder because you're right, Chuck. The TAMP or the top level fee, right? It's in the advisor agreement. The client signs somewhere, hey, the fee is 1.48% or whatever it is, or you could do the quick math each quarter or whichever period. But yeah, the non-transaction fee fund. So I custody with Fidelity. It's the same everywhere. They have a list of funds that they have graciously provided at no charge. Now, Fidelity's name is still on football stadiums and it's still everywhere. They're still making money, boys and girls, right? And so on those NTF funds, if they're not charging a trade fee, they're getting a kickback, AKA they're padding the expense ratio. This isn't, as Chuck, as you know, this isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't some kind of a nefarious thing. It's just the price of doing business. And so, yeah, if you say, hey, I'm going to buy this fund because it's on the NTF list, the client's paying, and Chuck, I'm spitballing here, so tell me if you know a better number. 10 bips extra, 20 bips extra, 30 bips extra, depending on the fund. They're paying quite a bit more. Now, you might say, hey, listen, I really like the Growth Fund of America, and I really like that it's on this list, and I don't care that it's the share class. Okay, that's fine. But that needs to be an educated decision. We need to sit down and say, hey, across your book, your clients are paying, I'm going to make up a number, an extra $80,000 for this fund. Like, is it worth, would you write this check, Chuck? Would you personally write a check for $80,000 to have access to this fund? No, actually, I wouldn't. Okay, so let's go find an ETF alternative or something like that. Sorry, I get really passionate about this one because advisors are usually off by a long ways. I met with an advisor and I was referencing this Chuck, the true net payout. And he says, well, that's not true where I'm at. And I said, well, where are you at? And he said, and I don't need to name the firm here. And I said, well, doesn't the owner of that firm have his own private jet? And he says, well, yeah, he does. And I said, how are they paying for that jet? So we do this thing.
Spoiler alert, that was not Sovereign because Sovereign does not have a private jet.
Yeah, that was not Sovereign. Yeah, it wasn't Chuck. This isn't a reference to Chuck. And so I said, let's do some quick math. So quick math, Chuck, his fee was 1%. Now let's just call it even. And the client was paying 1.5. This guy was doing about $2.5 million a year. So his clients were paying $500,000 of override to this channel. Now I said, dude, I know you love this channel and they put on good trips, but would you write a check out of pocket for $500,000? He says, no, absolutely not. He says that number can't be right. I'm like, let's do the math again. The number was right, and he needs to actually give you a call, Chuck. I have to write his name down and send that over to you.
No, but that really is true, though, and I think that's the best way to put it. Understand what the costs are, and then tie that to what the value is. And if you think you're getting value for that $500,000, by all means, pay it.
Please.
But don't pay it not knowing what you're getting. And that's, I think, what we're really talking about here.
That's right. That's right. And don't, Chuck, to your point, don't kid yourself and say, hey, the client's paying it, which I think is
so as you can see, Matthew has some very strong opinions on that particular idea, and as do I. So listen to the full podcast. If you're an RIA currently, this will be a good one for you to listen to. And certainly if you're going RIA, which I think is most of you in the audience, this is really an important one because we really touch heavily on that idea of true net payout. So whether you're looking to build your own RIA or certainly if you're going to tuck into one, a big part of your pro forma is, how much are you going to charge your clients and ultimately how much trickles down into your bank account, right? So you don't want to look at your nominal payout, which is that 92%, but really what is your true net payout? So take a listen. It's worth I think the 25 minutes that we've done on it, and it's up there on the website right now. So that's it for today. So on behalf of goRIA, fueled by Investment News, I'm Chuck Vela. I'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks.